Hello there, beautiful internet and fantastic creatures of the beyond. I have a nice surprise for you guys. I have updated the theme. So the big reveal. Well, basically I have updated some of the icons here on the left, but I have done something more than just update the icons. I've done them a bit more practical. And what do I mean by that? So let's start with the first one that I have modified, which is this pen tool, the Bezier tool. I think it looks a bit easier on the eyes and it's slimmer and accurate. I don't know, I feel like it's much more easier to work with this one. Now I have borrowed a few styles from other templates, just tiny little details like the paint bucket tool. I have modified it a bit and I've taken it from the multicolored icon pack, but more or less it's still modified. It's not the same. You're not gonna see much of the same. So one thing to keep in mind is that although I have implemented my own designs, I had to kind of make them fatter. In the sense that I don't think this is an Inkscape issue, but I think this is how mouse pointers are generated or are rendered. Either by the operating system or I don't know, it's maybe a combo. So the idea is that there is some compression, some pixel compression, and usually it kind of erodes the edges. Well, you might not notice it, but I do. So the point is that I have to kind of drag my designs a bit. But they look decent. Now, the next one that I have changed is the pencil tool, and it looks more or less the same. But there is one important thing to keep in mind, that when you're drawing, well, in this case I have a white line, a white fill, sorry. So you might think, wouldn't it be nice to have a preview of the color that we're working with? So let's take the red color and look at our pen. It's red. And now if I'm gonna drag a line, it's red. So now I know all the time that I'm what color I'm going to work with. And I tried not to make it too heavy on the eyes, but it's a nice little preview. And I have applied it to a few other tools in here with the color preview, not to all of them. So for example, for the rectangle, let's say I'm gonna go for a dark yellow. You can see it's a dark yellow. But more than this, let's apply a blue border. If you look closely, you can see that it's the yellow, well, the dark yellow fill and the blue border on the edge. The same is for the circle, so let's try a magenta. As you can see. Obviously don't do these combinations, they're horrible. And the same for this one. Initially I thought of making a triangle instead of a star, but I like the star more. The next one is this. So again, I've also added the color preview for this. So it's just a tiny thing. Now I hope that it helps you guys, because I personally think that it would help me on the long run. The same is for the text. If I'm gonna write with red, oh, I need to write first. Oh, that's weird. Okay, let's try something darker. Let's remove the... Okay. Yeah, this one doesn't work perfect. So yeah, maybe there is a bit of a lag in between certain things. And this is probably because of the functionality. Haven't tested this one too much. No, perhaps this is a small tiny bug in there, but it's from Inkscape, not from me. Then I have done these icons a bit dimmer, so this one pop up better, because 90% of the time you just work with these tools, and from this one down you rarely use these ones. Now this one is a bit modified, but not by much. This one I did quite a bit of editing on it. I have changed the default cursor and the default icon here, so they look more interesting. But again, I tried not to make it too imposing on the eyes. Then this one, I've tried various designs, but at the end I thought this is the most akin to tweaking. And then, well, the default cursors are based on these ones up here, so I didn't modify any of this. I left them as they are because I think they're quite decent and indicative of what they do. This one is one that I have done quite a lot of changes, and I've made it a bit of a gradient. And also when you're looking now, before the gradient was on the other side, but I've also changed the design to look a bit better. I also thought of adding the same color preview, but then I remembered that this one basically does clones or copies of an object that you copy from the clipboard, so it will not do much in that sense. This one is another cool design that I've made, and it looks a bit more three-dimensional. And yeah, it makes it more indicative of a rubber, of an eraser. And for this one, I thought it would look better if it's more, I don't know, intertwined like this. I think it makes much more sense when it's a connector, because you can connect between different things. Then with the ruler I have kind of split the color here, so it looks a little bit dimmer, but I've kept the design of the cursor. And then we've went for the zoom, nothing changed here, and for this one again a little bit dimmer on the background. That's about it. Although I am happy with the color preview, and I think this is gonna be very helpful in the future. So yeah, you guys have fun with this. Okay guys, stay awesome, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye 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 bye.